In this video, we are going to take a look at how to calculate mean, median, mode when we are given a pie chart. So our question here says the following graph shows the number of portables at HDSB high schools. There are 15 HDSB high schools in total. So portables are these small outside classrooms that schools might have if they have more students than they have space. And HDSB is just the Halton District School Board that our school is in. So it says determine how many schools have each number of portables. And I have a graph here. It is a pie graph or a circle graph. It says the number of portables at HDSB high schools. We have quite a few that have 0. We have some with 4, 6, 10, 12, and 18. You may have noticed Blakelock does not currently have any portables, so we fit in that category of 0. Okay, so it wants to know how many schools have each number of portables. So we want to know how many have 0, how many have 4, how many have 6. And I have a percent value here, but I want to know actually how many schools there are. So they did tell me in the question that there are 15 high schools in Halton. So here when it says that the schools with 0 portables, there were 46.7%. That means 46.7% of those 15 schools. So we're going to start by finding how many had 0 portables by finding 46.7% of 15. So I'm going to take 15 and times it by 46.7%. Now percent means per 100, so we're going to multiply by 46.7 and then divide by 100. All right, I need a calculator for this, so I'm going to do 15 times 46.7 divided by 100. And I got 7.005. Now, the percents that I have in my circle graph here, they are rounded numbers, which means we're not going to get the numbers to work out exactly here. So 7.005 really is 7 portables, right? It's just the percent figures that ended up being a little bit off. So I'm going to say that we have 7 schools with 0 portables. Okay, then we're going to do 4. How many schools have 4? That is 6.7% of 15. So I've got my 15 schools and we're going to do 6.7%. So we're doing 6.7 divided by 100. So 15 times 6.7 divided by 100 is, nope, I don't think I did that right. 15 times 6.7, nope, divided by 100. Helps if you don't hit times. All right, I got 1.005, which is 1 school. Now, I do want to point out that the 6.7% also got used for 10. So rather than calculate that again, I'm going to say that that's also 1. And then up here, 18 portables is the same percentage. So that would also be 1, just to save us a little bit of work. All right, then we need to do our 6 portables. All right, we have 13.2%. So I'm going to take 15 times 13.2. Percent means per 100, so divided by 100. So 15 times 13.2 divided by 100 is 1.98, which would be approximately 2 schools. So that's 2 schools. Now at this point, I've got all of them except for 1. So I could calculate 20% of the 15 schools, or I could take 15 and subtract 1, 1, 2, 1, and 7, and then see how many are left over. Your choice. I'm going to do the percent, but you absolutely could just subtract. All right, so for 12, it is 20% of 15. So 15 times 20, percent means per 100. So 15, nope, times 20 divided by 100 is 3. Now I am just going to label, I reused this calculation for 10 and 18. So I'm just going to label there that they were all the same calculation. And then a good way to check to make sure we did this right is if I add all of these up, they should have added up to 15. So 7, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so from here, we have some follow-up questions. It says calculate the number of schools that have at least one portable. So at least one means one and more, right? So at least one means it has one portable or it has more than that, right? Well, none of the schools have just one portable, but I do have schools that have 4, 6, 10, 12, and 18, and all of those are bigger than 1, so that would definitely count. So I'm going to add together 1, 2, 1, 3, and 1. And if I add all of those together, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 schools that have at least one portable. So one portable or more. Okay, write out a list of the numbers in the data set. Okay, so when I go to write out the numbers in the data set, the numbers aren't the 7, the 1, the 2, the 1. That just tells me how many there are. So there are 7 schools that have 0 portables. So when I go to write out my list, I need to start with 7 zeros. So I've got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm just going to count to make sure that's enough. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 zeros. All right, and then we have 1, 4. And then 2 6s. So there's 2 that have 6 portables. I have 1 that has 10 portables. There are 3 that have 12 portables. So I need 3 12s. And then 1 that has 18. So our data set here is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4, 6, 6, 10, 12, 12, 12, 18. Okay, now all we have left to do is our mode, our median, and our mean. So for the mode is the most frequent. Looking at my list of numbers, I can easily see that I have the most zeros. So that would be 0 portables. If I was just looking at the graph though, I can tell which one is the mode because it's the one with the biggest wedge, right? So obviously 0 takes up the most space out of all of them. So I know that that one is the mode because it's the largest. All right, the median. The median is in the middle. There are 15 schools. If I divide 15 by 2, that is 7.5. I ignore the 0.5 and I just focus on the 7. I'm going to count 7 in from the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I count 7 in from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there is actually a number in the middle. That's the 4. So there are 4 portables. That's our median. Now, just to point it out on a graph that you can find the median without actually doing any calculation or counting. If I go back to my graph, you'll notice that this is where the 4 is. To find the median is in the middle of your data. So if you find where the highest and the lowest start, so 0 starts here and then we clock all the way back around to 18. So the whole thing, the highest and the lowest meet here. if you were to take a ruler or some type of straight edge, just looking for my ruler, and you were to draw a line straight down from where your highest and lowest met, right? It would cut my circle in half. So half the data is on one side and half the data is on the other. And then that is where our median is going to be. And you'll notice that that line is cutting through the middle of 4. So that was why our median was 4 portables. Okay. Okay. Last part, the mean. So to calculate the mean, I need to add up all of my numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. So I know there's 15 numbers altogether. Now I have to add them up. Now I could do 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, but that just equals 0. So if you need to add them in, go for it. But I'm going to start with the 4. So I have 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 18. And I get 80. And I do usually like to add twice just to be sure. So maybe I'll add them going backwards. And I didn't add the zeros because they don't do anything. All right, I got 80 again. And if I divide that by 15, I get 5.3 repeating here. So that would be approximately 5.33. A little dot to show that I rounded, and that is portables. Okay, so you finished most of these homework questions for homework last Wednesday, but I did ask you to wait on the modes and the medians for all 3 of those questions. So I would recommend taking a few minutes right now and seeing if you can go through and finish doing the modes and the medians for the 3 homework questions from way back when on Wednesday. Okay? All right. Have a great day.